Hey everyone, it's day 2 of the 12 days of Christmas, and today we are going to talk about garland. I'm going to show you how I took my garland from this to this. Got a lot to share today, so let's jump right on in. All right, as I mentioned earlier today, we're giving some new life to some older garland to make it mantle ready. So if you have garland that's looking a little bit tired, don't worry. I have a few quick tips. I'm going to show you what I use to hang, and I'm going to share some other suggestions on garlands at different price points. But first, let's talk about my command strips. Wanted to offer a couple of easy tips using the mantle in my dining room, which I'm purposely not styling because I plan to do a live demo with you later on in the series. But a couple things I want to talk about. I use command strips to style the mantle in the main room, and you have to really follow directions. The first thing you want to look for is what size the command strip sticker holds. So this is 2 pounds. I want to say they go up to 3, I'm not sure, but that's a big deal because it's literally telling you like this is only the amount of weight that I can take. My garland is definitely heavier than 2 pounds, so either I double up, or this year I'm using this command strip. I don't know the name of it, but I'll have it linked in the description box. But it's silicone, so it gives a little more stretch, if you will. And I really liked how it worked out in the main fireplace. The other thing I want to talk to you about are following the instructions. So you want to leave yourself enough room to be able to pull this tab off at the end of the season. If you place it on properly, you'll automatically do that. It actually gives you a little pattern. It's hard to see here in the camera, but it gives you a little pattern. Just stick it right on there. The other part on the directions that a lot of people probably don't follow is you have to hold it down to let it stick for 30 seconds. You've got to give it some pressure. The 30-second part is a really big deal. It also suggests that you wait for an hour before you actually hang anything on there. I usually wait for a little bit more than an hour, but you definitely want to press down for 30 seconds. Give it at least an hour to adhere before you start using it. Now it's at the end of the season. You're done with Christmas. You're ready to pull all of your decor down, and you're just in go mode, because that's what happens to me. I've done this so many times. You have to pull this off correctly, or you're going to pull it off and you're going to pull some of the paint off of your mantle with it. So what you want to do is, I like to apply pressure at the top, and you're going to pull. I kind of pull in a downward motion, but you're going to pull until it gives you a little stretch, and then you're going to pull until you get a little more stretch. Pull until you get a little more stretch. See, I'm still holding on to it at the top. I don't let that go. All right. And you're just going to keep working it out. Get some stretch. Give it a little wiggle, 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 ah. Okay. Still applying pressure until so what you don't want to do is lift up, because that's when you snatch your paint off your mantle. So I'm just working this out until it comes all the way out. Now, if you've left this on for too long, for example, longer than just a season, it could snap on you. So you definitely don't want to leave these on for too long. No more than a season. Don't leave them on for a year, because that's when they'll snap. I've had that happen too. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. no damage. And then once you've had it set for at least an hour, you can use it to, you use this little tab on the end here to just pop it right into the base. So it gives you lots of room to shape your garland. All right, so you have your command hooks in place. Let's get this garland hung. I wanted to take you through this process to, if you feel like you need to toss your garland, don't do it just yet. Take a look at how mine looks from start to finish and you may just change your mind. So this is by far my favorite garland. I've used it several times here on YouTube. It's a cascading garland, and what I love about it is just how lush and drapey it is. And I think they use the old school lighting in this garland. So it's really warm, and when it's lit up at night, it looks like little fireflies are in there, and it's just beautiful. So that's why I'm using it again. But as you can see, when I pull it out of the box, it looks like it's in rough shape. One thing that I like to suggest before you pack your garland away at the end of the season, check your lights and replace them at that time. It's one less thing you have to do next year when you pull it out, and it seems to really extend the life of the garland. I don't know if it does or not, but it feels like it does. So check your lights at the end of the season. And then you really have to go through each branch and spread out the greenery to make it look fuller. This is a step that I think a lot of people rush through because it's really not, it's not the fun part, right? But you have to go through each branch and shape it. If you have wired branches, you can give them a little bit of a bend, but if they're not, you still have to go through and touch every single piece. Another thing I wanted to address are the price points. So someone in the comments on the first video was saying, you know, I love this garland, but it's out of my budget. What else can I do? Great question. Garland has come a long way and there's so many good places. So I'm going to share a couple of places that I would personally or have personally purchased garland for. I'm going to show you a couple of these that they're not pre-lit, but they look very realistic. The first place I wanted to put on your radar is a place called decoratorswarehouse.com. I follow her on Instagram. She has beautiful garlands. I'm just searching through the Real Touch Norfolk collection here because they look so realistic. So they aren't pre-lit, but at a $47 price point, you could grab yourself some little fairy lights from the dollar store or Walmart and weave those in there and add some picks if you wanted, and you would be all set. It's a beautiful garland, definitely one that I would use. Also, let's not sleep on Walmart, friends. They have really stepped up their game. They carry so many different brands. They have a little something for everyone, but you do have to shop online and kind of have an eye for what looks realistic online. Here's a great piece that I found. Nope, not this one. It's a Norfolk. I like that Norfolk look because it looks so realistic. But Walmart has them at price points from like $18 to like $45, just depending on the length. Look at that. That is so pretty for $16, $17. Absolute yes for me. And then one more place I wanted to mention is a place called, it's at afloral.com. I've never personally ordered from them, but I've seen a lot of their stuff on Instagram and a couple of friends that I have. Look at that, $39 have ordered this. That is really pretty and it looks so real. So I hope this helps with, you know, addressing the price points. You got to know where to shop, but you can find things in all sorts of different price points. So I hope that helps. Normally I would just delete this part of the video, but I thought it would be nice to give you a behind the scenes look at how much tussling is involved to get this garland into shape. And then just encourage you to, if you have a piece of garland you love and you feel like it's done, don't toss it just yet because it just may need a little TLC. And of course, you can always add in your picks. I've added picks into this garland in the past. I don't plan to do that this year because I'm going to double it. So I'm using two pieces because I want it to look super full and I don't want much else in there because for me, it's all about the tree this year. But let me know in the comments what other questions you have about Garland. And on one of the 12 days of Christmas, I'm going to do a live demo for you answering some of those questions. And then to finish things off, this is where you would typically add your picks and your ribbon. I'm adding the Mantel Village, and then I'm stringing through some of that burgundy ribbon that you saw me use in the Christmas tree on the pre 12 Days of Christmas video, just to pull some of that color through the room. And that's really gonna be it for this piece. All right, you guys, as always, I hope you got something out of this. If you are playing along in the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, make sure you answer the question of the day right down below in the comment section. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow for day 3. Until then, love and peace.